Hello, hello, and welcome to Your Holistic Earth podcast. My name is Kat Halushka, and I'm your host for today. I'm so excited on this episode. We're going to have Barbara Edie, intuitive coach. But first, let me tell you about Your Holistic Earth. Your Holistic Earth is the bridge that connects you to local and national experts in the fields of your holistic medicine. On each episode of this podcast, we're going to bring experts that are going to help you be healthier and have an increased sense of well-being. Now, Barbara Edie is a best-selling author of book Creating the Impossible, coach and intuitive guide who helps solo entrepreneurs, creative professionals, and women in business put their intuition and practical wisdom into action to navigate challenges and achieve extraordinary results with clarity, ease, and flow. And I got to tell you, this is not my first business, and clarity, ease, and flow sounds pretty damn good right now. So welcome, Barbara. I'm excited to have you here.
Thank you very much, Kat. And that's one of the beauties of helping people follow their intuition, because you're right. Wow, we are living in such uncertain times at the moment. And I think we could all use a little more clarity, ease, and flow, just navigating each.
Absolutely.
Because everything's changing so quickly.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. But hey, Barbara, you know what? I try to introduce experts that are coming onto the podcast, but I'm sure I'm not doing a judgment. I actually would love to hear from you how it is that you help people, and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Right. Okay. So how I really help people is by helping them put their intuition or higher guidance into practical action. I believe it's like our ultimate GPS system. We have our own human guidance system that we can tune into, just like you would in your car or your phone. Mm-hmm. And that's going to give you direction, and it's going to give you the best direction and the best path for you to follow. So that's what I do with clients. And that's what I've done in my own life for over 30 years now, is really tuning. When I have a big decision to make, or there's something I really want to do, I tune into my heart and inner wisdom first.
And for those of us who are just getting to know what intuition is and how to use it, what are some of the tips that you can give us? How can we tap into that?
Yeah, sure. One of the best ways that I do with clients, and I do in my own practice, but with clients, when we're in our intuition, it comes from a place of calm and peace. So that's the only way you can actually hear those insights and hear that higher guidance, is if there's not a lot of noise in your head, or, you're not in a place of fear. So I use a technique. It's actually from the Heart Math Institute, and it helps you get to a calm place so you can actually tune into that higher guidance. And it's called heart-focused breathing. So just quickly, how you do that is you take 3 deep breaths. So I take 3 really deep, calm breaths, and you place the attention on your heart, and you actually imagine you're breathing in and out of your heart. So that's what I do myself, and I do that with clients. And then you also introduce a space and a feeling of gratitude as you do that heart-focused breathing, and it immediately calms your nervous system, because it tells your heart and your system that everything is safe, right? When you're breathing calmly and deeply. And then from there, you listen for the guidance of whatever it is that you're asking to know about. And yeah, so that's just a really good way. That's like the intro to tuning in, is to start with your heart's focus and coherence.
Thank you so much for sharing that. That's such an incredible exercise. And I know it from working with an intuitive coach in the past. And this was a great reminder to really breathe into it in order to get any kind of guidance, really.
Yeah, intuition operates in the present moment, and it operates from a calm space. Because as I said, otherwise, if there's too much noise, it's like the static on the radio station, right? If you're tuned into the static, you can't actually hear the music. You need to be in that calm, connected place.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. So I'm curious, because I'm sure that there are some misconceptions about well, intuition and working with intuitive coach out there. So what are some of those misconceptions, and what can we do
Right. Right, absolutely. There's a few different myths around that. One of the things I found is that people think only gifted people are intuitive, right? Like you have to have some special psychic ability, where that's not true. We're all born with this innate guidance and we all have access to it. The reason most people don't use it or follow it, there's a few reasons. Many don't believe it's real. They think it's some sort of woo-woo wishful thinking kind of thing. And it's it's not. It is, science has actually proven, there is an energy and from the heart that comes from the heart, and it's how we communicate with the brain and our higher self. So firstly, it is real, it is measurable. Science has proven that. And even to the point now, Kat, it's being used in business schools like Stanford University, very well-respected sort of logic schools are teaching intuitive intelligence and courses in that to their MBA students. Funny. And they're finding, the nickname of the course is the touchy-feely course, but it is about emotional intelligence and being more intuitive. And they're finding people who are connected to that skill, who can come from, again, a place of insight and innovation, are better communicators, and they call them unicorn employees. They come with some of the best ideas. So that's one of the things, the myths around it, that it's not real and it's not like useful in business or science, where it's absolutely a real skill and practice and tool that you can use in your real life. And the other myth, I think most people don't follow it because they don't trust it. They'll get some great idea, they'll get some great insight, and it'll be like, oh no, that can't be, that's too easy, or that doesn't make sense. So they don't follow it, right? And they ignore it. But it's really one of the most powerful methods we have to, as we said at the beginning, to really navigate uncertainty and come up with those aha moments. So I just want to read, for people listening, a quote from someone like a CEO. The aha moment emanates from your heart and is fueled by intuition. True visionary leadership always originates from the heart, not the brain. So for people listening, a lot of holistic entrepreneurs here, very visionary people, but heart-centered people as well, right? And we can use that in our business. We can use that in our lives. And so it's real, and you can trust it, and you don't have to be gifted. You were born with it.
Yeah. And I heard so many times from many, many different coaches who told me in the past that I have all the answers. It's just making sure that I'm asking the questions from the right place.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And I have a story, back to helping clients do that. In one of my intuitive workshops, I did this process I do with people where, you tune into your vision, like what's your vision? So you have to be clear about what you want. And then we tune in, ask for guidance. And she got this intuitive hit to, go to Africa. And the question was, what's the next step in my life and my business? Mm-hmm. She was looking for direction, basically kind of soul direction. And we got, I don't know, Africa. And I had the same intuitive hit that she did. And so she ended up taking this amazing journey to Africa. It turned out she had a 30-year dream to go to Kenya after she'd seen the movie out of Africa. Anyway, I connected her to a person who does soul safaris in Africa. She took this she actually took action, even though people are like, well, how's that going to help your life or your job? It's like a big escape. She said, I don't know. And I said, this feels true for you. Your intuition also always feels like the truth. Mm-hmm. Even if it's a little bit scary, it feels like it's true. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's where people also, have to overcome that obstacle of listening to their fear, not their truth. So anyway, she listened, she went to Africa. She had she says now it was the beginning of her own personal transformational journey. She came back to Canada and actually designed her own dream job. She had an idea. She's an environmentalist, and she had the opportunity to work with this company, and they hired her immediately, and now she's on a whole different path.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so really it helped her business, it helped her her life, her energy, because now she's doing something authentic, right? So our intuition gives us the path that is most authentic for us.
Yeah, absolutely. And I can't help but be curious, because I know you wrote a book called Creating Impossible. What's the story behind that?
Yes, okay, great. So, right, that's my own personal story as well. Creating the impossible, the tagline is what it takes to bring your vision, so your dream, your higher passion to life. My own story is in my mid-20s, I had my own time when I was really looking for guidance and direction. And it was one of those very dark nights of the soul. And I ended up actually going through a deep depression. And at one point, I asked, from my heart, I said, show me a sign. Like, what do I need to do? What is this all about? And I had this unbelievable epiphany and like transformational healing. This light and this guidance and this presence just moved right through me. And from that place, I had like a transformational healing. I was in a psychiatric hospital at the time, and it was like I was immediately well again and discharged. And later, at other instances in my life, I was in a drunk driving accident, hit by another driver in another accident. So these things would happen to me, Kat, and every time my intuition or my guidance would show up, and quite frankly, these are sort of big aha moments or big sources of guidance that came to me, but they really showed me what was true and what was real, and that we are always guided and we are protected when we are on our true path. And so fast forward, I made many big changes in my life, following my own intuition. And then the reason I decided to write a book is I wanted to share this with other people, that there's a different way for you to, again, be guided in your own life. And I interviewed visionary change makers around the world about how they use their higher intuitive guidance to create big projects and their dreams around the world. And then I told some of my own transformational stories. And why it's called Creating the Impossible is because Nelson Mandela once had an expression: it always seems impossible until it's done, meaning until it actually happens, right? So people tell themselves, back to the obstacles and why people don't follow their higher guidance, because they say, oh, that's impossible. That makes no sense. There's no way I can do that. And yet, if someone else has done it, it means it is possible. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. When they can shift their mindset from, no, this really is possible, and this is going to show you the best path to take that next step.
You have such a beautiful story, Barbara. Thank you so much for sharing. I'm sure there's a listener out there, many listeners who want to connect with you. So what's the best way to connect with you?
The best way would be my website. It's Barbara Edie, and Edie is spelled EDIE.com. So BarbaraEdie.com. There's a contact place there, but there's also a webinar that It's a free webinar, and it is about how you can use intuition in your own life and business. And it's similar to what we were talking about, Kat, the things people believe that aren't true, the myths around intuition, and how you can turn that around and really create your dreams.
Amazing. Again, thank you so much for coming on, Barbara, and sharing your wisdom with us. I learned so much today, and I'm excited to continue this conversation. For those of you who want to check out Your Holistic Earth community and join us, go over to profitableimpactacademy.com/YHE. And don't forget to check out some of the other episodes of Your Holistic Earth podcast. We have incredible experts join us every single week. Stay healthy.